Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take care of that problem you just saw I had. So I got a piece of wood here. This isn't the actual one we're going to use today, but this is the offcut. So basically what I did is I took a piece of wood, this is black walnut, and I went ahead and cut out my profile for a new type of spoon that I need. It's going to be sort of like a spoon, sort of like a spatula. So we'll go ahead and grab that piece that's missing here, and we'll get started. And it's a little chilly out here today, so I think we're going to take this into the kitchen table and make a bit of a mess there. So what I'm basically doing here is taking a square and turning it into an octagon. From there, I'll nip off each side to go to, a 16 sides until it comes down to a circle. So one of the things that I try to do is whenever I'm working on it, if I'm going and carving up and it starts to dig in to where it wants to take a huge chunk out, I stop, I back it off, and I turn the wood around. And the reason for that is because the grain, you don't want to go against the grain because then you end up with these huge chunks. Then when you want it, you can see right here in the video, the grain lines are going at an angle from the outside in. So that chunk is going to tear out all the way down this line if I let it go. Whereas if I turn it around, I can work away from it instead of against. Another thing is whenever you're cutting towards yourself, you want to make sure that if you slip, you're cutting toward yourself in a way that it's you're not going to hit yourself. That's why I like to have my thumb underneath cutting towards myself. Or more importantly, or better yet, would be to cut away from yourself. And I like to pivot off of my thumb like that, away from myself. See, it's starting to dig in there, so I can turn it around and push away from myself this way. Okay, so this is the shape so far. I did run into some issues with tear out, or grain issues. I did run into some grain issues. Here you can see there's a chunk right about here. There was a bark inclusion, and my knife kind of just grabbed it and took a chunk out. So what I'm looking at now is I think I'm to the point where I just want to sand this to smooth it out the rest of the way instead of carving it, because I'm starting to have some tear out issues. And I keep playing with the grain and I just can't quite get it to work out. What I'm toying with the idea of doing is getting my spoon gouge and scooping this out a little bit. And you can kind of see there's a dip here, so it's almost making it like a spoon spatula type of thing. I do like this rounded edge, good for inside of a pot, and I like this sharper edge, so it gives you some versatility when you're stirring your stuff. The thickness is pretty thick. I think I like it, but it's really heavy, surprisingly heavy. So I think that's one of the reasons I'd like to try to thin it out with the spoon gouge. So I'm gonna grab the spoon gouge and play around with it a little bit, see what happens. Alright folks, well I hope you enjoyed the video of me making the spoontula. Just finishing up with some oil here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So I think the best thing about this, if I was to recommend anything, the best thing I did that I'm glad I did was I wet it and let it dry, and that helped with bringing up the fibers and making it so that I got a really great soft finish. So I'll go ahead and leave some stills up at the end. If it's your first time here, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about it. And yeah, we'll see you next time.